Okay, grade 12 students, this is your second video on making macromolecules. What is a macromolecule? Macro means large, and obviously you know what a molecule is. So what we're doing is we're making large molecules. There's several different types of molecules that we can make in biology, and we do make those molecules through a process called dehydration synthesis. It's known as a condensation reaction, where we're removing water to make larger molecules. There's also the opposite of it, where it's hydrolysis or hydrolysis, breaking apart a molecule. So in this first unit, when we talk about biological macromolecules, we're going to talk about four types. One is carbohydrates, one is going to be lipids, so carbohydrates, lipids, proteins, and nucleic acids. And again, we'll go over this a bunch of times and you'll learn this, but proteins, that's what you're made of primarily. You're primarily made up of amino acid chains. So amino acid chains, amino acids that come together to form larger molecules are known as proteins. Fatty acids will combine together, this is right here, will combine together to make lipids or fats in your body. Sugars will combine to form carbohydrates. And nucleotides or nucleobases will form DNA and RNA, the genetic material of your cells. So when we build macromolecules, we use some terminology. The thing that we're starting with, the thing that is small, is known as a monomer. Mono means one, polymer means many. So when we take one small thing and we combine it together, we're making a polymer. So a monomer is a molecule that bonds together with similar molecules to form a larger molecule. So glucose is a monomer. It will combine together to form carbohydrates. Amino acids are a monomer, and they will combine together to form proteins, right here. And then nucleotides are going to combine together to form DNA. So, for example, in your body, or in a plant, not in your body, but in a plant, you have a 6-ringed carbohydrate called glucose. It is a monomer. It's simple. And when you combine them together in a plant, you'll make something called starch. In your body, you combine them together to make something called glycogen, and that's stored in your liver and your muscles. But a plant stores its glucose in a polymer called starch. Now, DNA is built from anabolic reactions. Anabolic means to build. When you think about like anabolic steroids, you're building muscles. So when we talk about anabolic reactions, we're building things. And DNA is built from nucleotides. We're going to learn and focus on this in the next couple lessons, but the nucleotide contains a sugar, a nitrogenous base, and a phosphate group. And those three things make it a nucleotide, and when you combine them together, what you'll end up making is you'll end up making DNA. And similarly, you can also make RNA. We're going to talk about that in our next couple lessons. This is showing what happens in proteins when we build proteins. Here is a whole bunch of different amino acids. And if you remember from the previous lessons, we talked that an amino acid will have an amino group and it will have a carboxyl group. And so all these amino acids have an amino group and they have a carboxyl group, and they also have a special group that will give it different properties. These are all different amino acids. And when we combine them together through anabolic reactions, we make an amide bond. So this is an amide bond right here between the different amino acids. We're making a complicated, large macromolecule called a polypeptide, and that polypeptide becomes part of the protein. So when we build things in this anabolic reaction to build, we create large molecules from small things. It requires energy, and we need to know that. So it requires energy to do these anabolic reactions. To do catabolic reactions, we're going to realize that we release energy. When we do dehydration synthesis again, what we're doing is we are bonding two things together by removing water, just like we did in our organic reactions. You can see that we're removing an H and an OH. And what kind of bond would this be if this is a carbon and this is a carbon? So again, what kind of bond would this be? This is an ether linkage. And that's what we learned in our previous lesson. We're going to eventually learn that this is known as a glycosidic linkage, which is just basically an ether linkage between two sugars. So two glucoses can combine together to make something called a disaccharide, which means two sugars, and known as maltose. And in the process, we're removing water. So we got monomers adding together to make polymers. And in the process, we're removing water. This would require energy for us to do this. When we're making something big and complicated, we need to use energy to make something like this. We get the energy back when we break it back down, but anytime we build something big, it requires energy from us. Catabolic reactions, on the other hand, they give us energy. So when we eat protein, we will remove that and break it down into amino acids. And that amino acids will also, in that process of making that amino acids, we also gain energy and it's released. So catabolic reactions are known as hydrolysis because we are adding water to break something apart. And anytime we do a catabolic reaction, we get energy as well as a byproduct. So when we take something big and we make make it smaller pieces, we get energy out of that process. And we talk about metabolism. Metabolism is all the chemical reactions inside your body that make you function. Okay, metabolism is the culmination of all the anabolic and catabolic reactions happening inside your body. So when you eat food, you're breaking down things through catabolism. You're breaking things down, you're getting energy. But at the same time, you're building muscle and protein and fats, different types of things you're using to grow and get larger and function. So metabolism is a combination of all the different anabolic and catabolic reactions that are occurring inside your body. Okay? So that's it for today's lesson. We just need to know anabolic, small molecules are making large ones, energy is required. In catabolic, we have large molecules breaking into smaller ones, energy is released. So that's it for today. We know that our whole body functions as a whole bunch of different catabolic and anabolic reactions together. This is an image showing what happens inside your body. You are both using glucose to store some of that glucose in your liver, okay? And at the same time, your body is also breaking down the glycogen stores inside your liver to release that glucose into your blood. So it's a catabolic reaction breaking down that glycogen, and at the same time, you're building it up. And this is an example of the metabolism that happens inside your body. So that's it. See you guys soon.